Karnataka has a new chief minister, and almost at the exact same time, the state has slipped to a meager 2.1% of India's proposed fiscal year 26 investments. Karnataka, which has built Bengaluru into the startup capital of India, the GCC capital of the world, and home to India's biggest AI and software ecosystem, is now near the bottom when it comes to attracting proposed investments. Meanwhile, Andhra Pradesh leads the country with 25.3%, Odisha follows at 13.1%, Maharashtra is at 12.8%. And I think to get misled and construe this as a political story would be unfortunate. Instead, this should be seen as an economic signal and possibly an early warning sign. India has recorded its highest ever gross FDI inflow, $94.5 billion, the fastest growth in 6 years. And that money is not randomly flowing into the country, it is being channeled into factories, industrial parks, data centers, electronics manufacturing, energy infrastructure, ports, logistics, AI infrastructure, semiconductors. Wow, that's an impressive list. Which of course has motivated the states to compete aggressively for global capital. And that is also because the next decade of economic power may just belong to the states that execute faster than the others. And this is not necessarily about the states with the biggest reputations. Let's actually start with Andhra Pradesh, which is currently leading major states in proposed fiscal year 26 investments at 25.3%. A massive number for sure. And honestly, not many people could predict this just a few years ago. The state has been aggressively positioning itself around ports and logistics, manufacturing corridors, data centers, electronics, renewable energy, AI infrastructure, semiconductor ambitions, industrial parks, and of course, let's talk about the fact that they have been concentrating on faster clearances, execution speed, which truly matters. So investors generally care about one thing above all else, which is how fast can we start operating? And Andhra Pradesh is trying to answer that question rapidly. The state understands something which is very crucial, that is, global supply chains are being rewritten right now, and whoever captures this moment could dominate the next industrial cycle. Then we go ahead and talk about Odisha, which is at 13.1%. Well, is another, of course, very important beacon, and this is why. Because the AI economy is not just so much now limited to software. It warrants power, metals, minerals, industrial infrastructure, ports, manufacturing capacity. Basically, the world all of a sudden needs enormous physical infrastructure to support AI systems, EVs, semiconductors, and energy transitions. And states rich in industrial resources are becoming strategically important all over again. Now, of course, for Maharashtra, which stays at 12.8% as expected. Mumbai remains India's financial capital. Pune continues to dominate automotive and advanced manufacturing. The state actually still has one of the strongest industrial ecosystems in the country. And importantly, it has scale. And capital has a very, very soft corner for scale. Now, of course, for Karnataka. Karnataka, which is right now at 2.1%. That kind of changes the conversation entirely. Because Bengaluru still dominates. AI talent, for sure, startups, software exports, SaaS, GCCs, venture capital, enterprise technology. But the global investment cycle is actually starting to lean differently. Investors are now looking beyond software. They want physical infrastructure, they want manufacturing ecosystems, AI infrastructure, energy security, faster approvals, industrial execution, large-scale land availability. And this is where the competition becomes quite intense because software leadership alone is no longer enough. The AI era is becoming deeply physical. And, well, let me go ahead and elaborate that with this list. Data centers, power grids, chip fabs, cooling systems, industrial corridors, ports, factories, which changes everything. And then comes Tamil Nadu, which is not, well, waiting for the future. It is trying to manufacture it. The state is aggressively positioning itself around AI cities, green hydrogen, EV ecosystems, advanced manufacturing, space economy ambitions, semiconductor ambitions, faster clearances, plug and play infrastructure. So, well, the messaging itself is very clear. Invest in Tamil Nadu, not tomorrow, right now. Whether every project materializes or not is, I feel, secondary. The intent, which is more important, is quite obvious. Tamil Nadu wants to become India's industrial and innovation powerhouse. And global investors are actually paying close attention. Now, of course, for the front page take. Karnataka's leadership has changed today, but the bigger transition may already be happening underneath India's economy. A new industrial hierarchy is emerging, and the states building faster, approving faster, and executing faster may dominate the next decade of investment in India. Not just actually the states with legacy reputations. And right now, Andhra Pradesh is moving very aggressively to lead that very race. But you know what is so very unfortunate is the fact that Karnataka, which has been a beacon and a champion of the cause with such a wonderfully deep talent pool, with the fact that there has been an ecosystem which has actually been a playbook for a lot of the states, it has been a trend setter, is probably right now going through a phase of a lot of reflection because of the global investment sentiment. And on top of that, there seems to be a lot of political unrest, which I feel does not augur so well for the state. But you know what? Karnataka is a fighter, and I believe it has seen more than this in the last 4 decades. So, well, needless to say, I believe it should emerge from the ashes, as always. Please do let us know what are your thoughts in the comments below. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Front Page by the AIM Network. Like, share, subscribe, and always remember, think AI, think AIM.